Another film I saw recently was The Legend of Boggy Creek, 1972 horror docu-drama directed by Charles Pierce. It takes as its starting point stories of a creature that supposedly stalks the forests and swamps around the city, or the small town rather, of Fouke, Arkansas, close to the Louisiana and Texas borders. There's some kind of swamp Bigfoot in the area that's been sighted over the years or menaced various people. And the film has interviews with a few of the people who have had kinds of encounters with the creature, as well as dramatic reconstructions of various sightings and encounters over the years. It is quite unusual in its format, in its presentation, almost as I say, like a drama documentary, with narration from a fictitious local who had an encounter as a child and is now telling his story as an adult. It has this fictional framing device to enclose the stories that we're told, which, well, that one could charitably say that they're true from the point of view of the people telling them. Although the film was made on an extremely tight budget and largely with local people standing in for any actors, and a number of people involved actually playing themselves, it's surprisingly effective. The decision to keep the creature either in the distance or out of focus, or merely shooting slight edges of the body in extreme close-up, means you never get a proper look at it, and it covers up the fact that it was clearly going to just be a man in a gorilla costume. But the result is that it makes it much more effective. The creature is only vaguely glimpsed in the same way that it would have been by the participants in the story, and it makes it so much more mysterious and threatening as a result. The film also has a surprisingly interesting and compassionate tone. It suggests in the narration overall that the creature was initially trying to establish some kind of contact with humanity, some kind of kinship, and that it was lonely being the only one of its kind, and that having been hunted and chased, it turned against man and became more aggressive and violent, climaxing in a lengthy retelling towards the end of it laying siege to a house over a night. An extremely effective horror movie sequence that recalls George Romero of the time, the very rough and ready 16mm footage, the amateur local actors, the realism and the immediacy of it, along with very sharp editing. It's a film hamstrung by its limitations, but it tries so hard to transcend those limitations, to make use of the available talent and the available resources to think, well, we can't show the creature because it's a man in a gorilla suit, so we'll keep it in the distance, we'll keep it out of focus, we'll make it more mysterious and more mythical, and that draws the audience in so much further. The film was a surprise hit when it was released. It cost very, very little, and yet allegedly it made about $20 million, which is a huge amount for 1972. And there were several attempts at unofficial sequels later on. But I found this to be a genuinely interesting film. Not a great film by any means. It's certainly very original in its presentation, and surprisingly thoughtful and compassionate in its outlook. It's something quite unusual and quite original, and on those terms, I think I'd probably recommend it.